I do want to bring up concerns. So triple support is a prevalent thing in the meta right now, and I have a big fear that going forward triple support will be something that you're enforced to play and you basically have no choice but to play it. It's going to be a big issue going into this season, seeing as they buffed all the off supports apart from Adam, who already received buffs last season. A new teaser for Angela was dropped and the new patch notes were dropped, so I'm just going to look over it right now.
My birth and past are tainted. I fight to reclaim them each day.
So it looks like she can fly permanently, it seems. And she has a shield that has like, what, 250 HP? I think it was 250. Yeah, I think it's like a 250, maybe 300. And it seems like she's a melee tank from the looks of things. Okay, there's like a resource meter here. I think this is for the pin that she just did. It's for the charge. So if you press shift, you do like a charge with the flying state, I'm guessing, which pins people. Yeah, it seems like it. Wait, does the melee do a boop? I think the melee does a boop. It does. When she meleeed there, the venom got booped. Now, what that means is that if you like boop a BP during dash or like a Psylocke, you actually cancel their movement, or like a venom swing. Okay, okay. What was that? That was shift, I think. Yeah, she pressed shift and it like centered downwards and puts on a cooldown. Okay, so what I think shift is that shift is like a transformation between flying state and like grounded state. So when you go to the ground, you actually get new abilities, it seems like. Oh, so she pressed E. No, E is the transformation. So it's kind of like Blade, where she has a transformation between two forms. You go between flying and grounded. And also you get shields in this like area if you deal damage to enemies within the area. She looks really cool though. Wait, why did the Loki get sucked in there? Yeah, like Loki got pulled back in by something. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the ult. Because the ult is kind of like a Groot ult, but it doesn't keep them immobilized, it keeps them like tethered. I'm also not sure if Angela jumps straight to the ult as soon as you throw it, or if that's a button that you press after. Like you press Q and then she jumps straight to it, it seems like. But yeah, she looks really solid. I think she's going to be really fun. A lot of people might be saying that she's OP because she can like displace multiple enemies, but at no points in the clips was she CC immune, which means like any stuns can just completely fucking destroy her. So I don't think you can just fly around and pierce people into your team for free. So I'm interested to see how she plays. She looks very fun though. I'm glad it's a melee character. I've already looked over the patch notes, but I'm going to give my thoughts on them. Captain America got his team up anchor removed, which I think is interesting because they've never done this where they remove a team up anchor. So that means that Captain America gets nothing for being in a team up with Bucky now, because they removed the 5% damage boost. Now this is actually a massive nerf, because the reason why Captain America became so prevalent and so strong was because of this 5% damage boost. They basically made it so his like thresholds for killing people was like way less than it was. So certain combos are going to feel super weird now because you will have to do way more damage to actually get the kill off. So the time to kill for Cap has been reduced by a lot. I think the character is going to go from being like a solid S to maybe a high B or a low A because of this nerf. He's still going to be really annoying to kill, but he's just not going to be as threatening for killing, basically. This is kind of a big nerf for Cap, I can't lie. Doctor Strange, this is interesting. So they reduced the cooldown for Maelstrom of Madness, which is like his explosion that he uses, from 8 to 6 seconds. So every 6 seconds you can just pop your E, which is insane for building ult charge, killing people. You gotta think about it this way, like, how farm do people like get their dark magic up during like support ult fights? You're going to be able to like spam your E on cooldown and just farm Strange ult so fast with this new buff. And it also makes it so like he is way more threatening in terms of like killing people consistently now. I think he's going to be scared to 1v1 as well, and he's definitely going to be way more of a threat than he is right now. And he already is like a massive threat, but this is like a huge buff. They reduced his health by 25, but they didn't include the fact that he has 700 HP, so it's going to be 75 HP in total, which is a really good trade-off for this buff. He's just way better than he was before. Emma Frost got increased diamond form cooldown. I'm always happy with Emma nerfs. And they also made it so when you're gaining energy, when you're shooting shields, you gain half of what you gained before, which is a big nerf also. So I'm very happy about this. I'm actually extremely happy about this. This means like Emma, when she pops diamond form, is gonna have to be more careful about when she wants to pop it, and she's gonna be more vulnerable when she doesn't have it at her disposal because she won't be able to get it back as fast. So that's really good. I'm very happy with that. This also makes it so playing like shield tanks against Emma won't be as bad either because she won't be gaining much energy off your shields. Okay, Penny Parker. Spider drone no effects. Now slows enemies hit by 8% for 2 seconds. Each hit stacks for the effect and resets the slowing periods, stacking up to 40%. That's a lot. Reduce spider drone release interval during ultimate ability. Okay, so she spams more spider drones in her ult, and the ult now makes it so people get slowed. It's not going to make the ult good per se, but it definitely makes it a lot better than it was. Like, if you step in Penny ult, you might get caught out because you're just going to get slowed so bad that you can't get away from the enemy and you just die. I think it's going to catch a lot of people off guard because they won't expect it to happen, and they might get like overzealous or cocky about trying to kill the Penny during her ult. So that'll be interesting to see. Thor, increased movement speed during the ult from 600 to 700. I don't know how fast that is, but that is a massive buff, I'm pretty sure. So that means like avoiding Thor ult is going to be like near impossible if he hits you with the lightning realm beforehand. After the ultimate ability lands, stun surrounding enemies for 1 second. I've always said since the start of the game that Thor's ult should have some sort of use case that isn't just damage, because the damage isn't even that good either. It needs to have some sort of utility, and I suggested slowing, but I think stunning is like a way better utility for Thor. This makes it so like anyone hit by it is basically like a guaranteed kill afterwards. This is kind of a fucking massive buff, like super massive buff. I need people to think about like back when Wolverine came out, he used to have a 1 second stun duration on ult. Now 0.75. Before, you could like use your ult, hit supports, and then they would just not die, or they wouldn't be able to pop their ult, so they're just like instantly dead. This is going to be the same thing with Thor ult, where supports will have no time to like react and heal each other, and anyone caught is basically just dead. So this is a big buff. I think Thor is going to be a meta tank going into next season, especially with the new team up and stuff with Angela. We'll have to see though. BP got survivability nerfs, reduced bonus health gained by 5. So that, if you dash people who are vibranium marked, you get less shields. Reduced base health from 300 to 275. Okay, so he's just like squishier. Blade. Okay, here we go. Increase ancestral sword damage per single slash from 22 to 24. I said they would do this. I knew this would be the buff. This is a big buff, and I think Blade is already really, really strong. Like, I genuinely do think he's S tier, but this is going to make him, like, busted, in my opinion. I think he's going to be, like, beyond busted. Blade already is a very strong character in terms of taking 1v1s with his sword. Now it's like, if you get in a sword fight or a fight with Blade and he has his sword and he's got 10 stacks, you just lose up close. Like, he can go into a triple support backline or 2 support backline and probably just 1v3 them all and kill them. They don't have the damage to deal with the Blade, and they need to heal each other, so it's just a stalemate. The Blade will just eventually kill them. Now it's just like, Blade is... he's going to be killing them so much faster. Like, the extra 2 damage is insane. Killing tanks is also going to be, like, way easier. Like, killing Doctor Strange, Captain America. I think Captain America is always going to lose 1v1 to Blade now, because before, Captain America could actually fight the Blade and usually beat him in a 1v1 melee range. So I think Blade is actually going to be a massive threat now. Like, the character's already super strong, but now I think he's going to be busted. Magic. Remove team up anchor bonus. Okay, so this is just them reverting the damage from the team up anchor getting removed. So this is all just nothing. But this is insane. I was looking at this before, and I think Magic's going to be one of the strongest DPS in the game because of this. So they reduced the charge time required for Magic Slash from 1.8 to 1.2 seconds, which is big, right? This is big. So you don't have to charge the right click as often or as long of a period before you can get to max damage. But they also made it so the projectile now pierces enemies and reduces her portal's cooldown by 1 second per enemy sliced. This is busted. And if this applies to the ultimate, this means you can max charge your right click during ult, throw it through multiple enemies and kill them all. And this is going to be the same thing with the right click during out of ult. You can just like lob it in a choke and just kills like someone randomly because it pierces through everyone. It's like, if anyone's played Overwatch, it's kind of like Reinhardt's Fire Strike, but I think it's even stronger because of the ult, because it gets enhanced when she's in the ult. So this is going to be like, if you want to damage boost this, I'm pretty sure you can just like one shot their entire team with the right click alone. So this character is going to be meta. I swear to God, she will be meta. This is probably the biggest buff. I think it could be the biggest buff that any character has received in the game. It's actually insane. Midnight. Moonblade now holds up to 2 charges, each taking 6 seconds to recharge. So he gets 2 right clicks now. It's a good buff for Moonlight. I think it'll make him slightly better, but it's not going to make him strong. Psylocke. Decrease the retrieve damage of 1... So her right click has less damage per hit. Nice. Really good. I like that a lot. Scarlet Witch. Can now be healed by teammates during Mystic Projection. So she can be healed when she's in her shift state. That's a big buff actually. Increase her reality erasure damage from 800 to 9999. 999,000. It's over 9,000. What the fuck? Wait, this is actually insane. Okay, so no one survives Scarlet Witch ult now. It's actually impossible. But like, this alone isn't that big of a buff in terms of making the ult good. It's still easy to run away from. It's still easy to counter. New effect. Now pulls in nearby enemies within a 15 meter radius during the cast charge. Okay. Max pull speed up to 2.4 meters. So does this mean, so when during the whole cast time of the ult, you're pulling people towards the ult within 15 meters? That's insane actually. This could make the ult really good. This could actually make Scarlet Witch decent, because if people are like strange ulted or something, you could just like combo that and pull people towards you. Okay, Scarlet Witch actually might be good now. She actually might be good. Squirrel Girl got nerfed, reduced her primary fire by 10 damage. That doesn't really change any breakpoints. Increase the hit damage of her right click. Okay, so That basically makes it so if you hit someone with a right click, it still takes 2 shots to kill them. That doesn't really change any breakpoints in her kit. It always took 3 shots to kill someone with your primary fire. Increase mammal bond cooldown from 10 to 15 seconds. That's a big nerf though. That's a really big nerf. Winter Soldier, Bucky is getting a handy improvement. Second Strike now applies a 1-second debuff to enemies hit, preventing them from using movement abilities. Wait. So if you hit someone with like a hook, then shift, they're basically just dead. They can't like escape it. So if you're caught by Bucky hook and you're like a mobility hero, a diver, he basically just insta kills you because you can't escape it. Okay. Wait, so Bucky is going to be really good against divers now. That's a nerf to dive. Big buff to Bucky, honestly. Invisible Woman. Increase slow effect to enemies passing through Guardian Shield by 5%. Okay. Increase invisible boundary healing per second by 15. That's a big buff actually. New effect slows enemies within the range by 20%. So if you are inside the ult and you leave the ult and then you go back in, I'm pretty sure you get like 55% slowed. So anyone that's an enemy and they're inside the ult are going to be like really slowed down, which is kind of really good for the ult actually. I think you want to be using Invisible Woman ult more aggressively and just like place it on top of the enemies and try and take the fight where you want to take the fight. So you want to like maybe isolate a tank, isolate their backline and just kill them for free. I think that's the way that ult will be used going forward. Jeff the Land Shark. Ultimate ability now leaves an 8-meter radius healing pool at the activation or the point of activation that heals allies within range by 100 heals per second. Healing pool lasts for 8 seconds. I don't know if I like the direction they're going where they're just making every ultimate like a healing ult. They're making every support ult just a mass heal ult in a circle. I understand why they need to do it, and it's because DPS ults are so strong. But like, I feel like it's taken away from creativity for support ults. But I guess this is a good workaround for like if you have a Jeff on your team and no one wants to play a third support, you're kind of fucked over because you don't have that second support defensive ult. So I understand why they decided to do this. Okay. Reduce illusions damage and healing ratio from 100% to 8%. So his clones now do 20% less than he does. Okay, I don't mind that. I actually don't mind that. I think that's a good change. Reduced God of Mischief's ultimate shapeshift period from 15 to 12 seconds. So you have less time to use your ult. Okay, if using an active duration ability, Luna Snow, reduce shapeshift reducible period after the ability ends from 5 seconds to 3 seconds. Okay, so basically what this means is if you use a transformation ult, you have less time after the ult ends to be that character before you transform back to Loki again. This is a pretty big nerf to Loki actually, because a lot of people would just copy a support and then hold the ult for the max amount of time and then press the ult button to like basically stall the enemies for as long as possible. So this is actually a pretty sizable nerf overall, which I don't mind because Loki and Luna are very strong. So his ultimate ability duration is getting cooled down. See, we do nerf her. Very cheeky comment there. Reduce Fate of Both Worlds ultimate ability duration from 12 to 10 seconds. Finally, only took them 8 months. This is good nerf. People have been asking for this for a while. I'm happy they did this. When it's always lasted a bit too long. This is a good nerf. I'm very happy with this nerf. This will make one ult fights less mind-numbing and boring, to say the least. Mantis. Movement boost from Nature's Favour now decays to 0 over 2 seconds after being hit instead of instantly disappearing. Basically, if you're hit, it takes longer for your movement speed to disappear. Okay, so that's a net buff. Okay, I mean that's a fine buff, I guess. Ultron, ultimate ability new effect, deals 125% bonus damage to bonus health. I don't know why they did this. I feel like Ultron ult is already really strong and it's still good. I don't know why they felt the need to buff the ult. And this is kind of insane against Mantis ult. Just to name one off the top of my head. Is really good against Penny ult. And these characters that have bonus health wavered into their kit. Storm ult is a big one actually. If you hear a Storm ult get popped and you press your ult on Ultron, you'll insta-kill her. Insta-kill her. Yeah, this is kind of insane. Now, before I move on to team ups, just to see if there's anything there, I do want to bring up concerns about these support buffs. So, triple support is a prevalent thing in the meta right now, and I have a big fear that going forward, triple support will be something that you're enforced to play, and you basically have no choice but to play it. I think that it's going to be a big issue going into this season, seeing as they nerfed all the off supports, they buffed all the off supports, apart from Adam, who already received buffs last season. This is going to be problematic in terms of if you want to play like 2 DPS, you're actually just giving yourself a disadvantage because a third support would just be way stronger than having that second DPS there. Given support ults all these like effects that just make them stronger overall, even though they're already really good, is maybe going to be something that they have to dial back in the future. I have brought up on stream before that I personally believe that they should have a role debuff if people choose 3 or more of the same role. So if people choose 3 tanks or 3 vanguards, there should be like 50 less HP on all the vanguards that are being played. I think if there's like 3 supports, there should be 10% less healing to all the supports globally, or 5%, whatever number that you want. And then the same thing for DPS, where it should be 5% less damage. Because I think that these comps could be easily abused with all the hybrid shit they're doing, where they're making these supports that function as a DPS but also give utility. They're just going to be objectively better than having a DPS, because the ult is just more valuable. Being able to heal the team and give them support while also dealing a really good amount of damage is going to be insanely valuable also, to the point where having another DPS would just be kind of negligible. There's no point, you know. So that is a concern going forward, and all these notes here raise that concern, especially because Ultron, Jeff, Mantis are characters that I deem to be the problem makers, where they fit these off support roles, where they can just do the support role and the DPS role and do it better than DPS can. We'll have to see how it goes going forward though, but that could be a big thing for the meta. Team up abilities. Divine Armory. Okay, blah blah blah. This is the new Thor team up. Was there any like nerfs or buffs to current team ups? Balance changes. Scarlet Witch has less damage on her Strange team up. Half the damage. That's a big nerf. Jeez, I don't know why they did that. Maybe that's for like war elo that we're struggling against it. But honestly, like overall, decent patch. I do have concerns. I do think Blade was also already really strong, but it's a good buff for Blade. Thor and Angela look really fun. I think Emma getting nerfed is always a good thing because I hate the character. Strange getting buffed is interesting. And the magic buffs are going to be the biggest buffs in the game, and people are going to be complaining about it going forward, and that's my prediction for the future. But honestly, decent patch overall. I do have concerns though. So thanks for watching and have a good one. Bye bye.